and
This
what exactly
conference
you are
will now be recorded.
Hello?
Red Jay, what I'm trying to asking you, what exactly your requirement, what you wanted, and where are you from, and how many years of experience, and so can you please share me that information?
Yeah, I have about 10 years of experience. I'm here for the demo class on Python,
Only Python or Python with data science?
Python with data science.
Okay. For this 10 years, on which area you are, you got an experience?
Yeah, I'm currently working as a product owner. So I
Okay.
have about 10 years of product management experience.
Okay. Product management.
Yeah, in IT, I have used SQL and other
Mm-hmm.
programs, but mainly getting the data and front end. So I'm interested in learning about back end
Mm-hmm.
using Python.
Okay. So fine. So you have an experience which related to project and product management area, right? So now, and which kind of project, like so which domain you are expert, like in this, like finance or else sales or insurance, on which area you
I have worked on CPG and transportation sectors and healthcare, three sectors.
have healthcare, CPGA. Okay, that area.
Yeah,
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. Hi, Rupali. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, Rupali. Yeah. So fine, Rich. I totally understand your requirements. Okay. So if you wanna become like a data scientist, okay, with related to a Python. So the thing is that what are the things you should need to know it. The very first one is as a data scientist, he must have the knowledge on statistics, okay, and probability. So this is the thing is mandatory. Once if you have a good knowledge on statistics and probability, then you have a knowledge and you have an experience in SQL area. And third one is business intelligence or Power BI or Tableau. So this area also you should have some basic knowledge or basic experience be required. Okay. And fourth one is the Python. There is some tools are there which mainly using in data science, which are Python, R, and SPSS, SAS. So these are the tools which mainly for statistics tools actually. These tools which can help you to build the machine learning algorithms and to build the machine learning models, and it may help you in a data science. Okay. Once if we have a knowledge in Python, either or either SPSS, SAS, then after you should have a knowledge on machine learning. Is it clear? So if you have a knowledge on this technologies, then you are a data scientist. Okay. And meanwhile, there is some additional technologies. It may help you in some situations to grow your career towards in a data science and artificial intelligence. It could be deep learning, okay, and NLP. This is the two, or it can help you to grow your career towards in data science and artificial intelligence. Is it clear? This is optional or additional tools or additional technologies, but mandatory technologies or mandatory skills we required for the data science. It could be statistics, probability, SQL, Power BI, or else Python and machine learning. This is the area, these are the skills is mandatory to become like a data scientist with help of the Python or any other tool. Okay, if you want to become like a data scientist with Python, then Python is required. No, Anjan, I just want to become like a data scientist with R language, then you should learn the R. No, Anjan, I want to become like a data scientist with SPSS, then you should go for learning the SPSS tool. No, Anjan, I want to become like a data scientist with another tool which is SAS. Okay, here R, SPSS, SAS or Python, these are the tools. It can help you to build data science applications. Clear? Clear, Rich?
Yes.
Okay, so this particular session, I started with the Python programming language. So this particular time, I was spending for you Python programming language. Okay, so from the Python programming language, you don't need to learn each and everything, but it could be mandatory, so basic knowledge from the Python. Okay, so in Python programming language, Rupali, you can follow this particular class. Okay, here. Okay, so from the Python programming language, the concept which could be control statements. So control statements, so basically the control statements means it could be change the flow of execution of the program. Let me consider we have a program. Let me consider this is my program. The program, it may have some number of statements. How this particular program will execute? The first statement can be executed, is done, then it will be go for the second one, then it will be go for third one, then it will be go for the fourth one, then fifth one, sixth one. So this is the way from top to bottom, each and every statement, line by line, it can be executed, right? But with the help of the control statements, you can change the flow of execution of the program. For change the flow of execution of the program, there are different kind of control statements or control statements are we have it. From that one, the very first one is conditional statements. Conditional statements. And the second one is looping statements. So these are the statements. It can help you to change the flow of execution of the program. Clear? Now let's go for understanding the what exactly the conditional statements. Conditional statement in the sense, basically statement means it can be executable part, right or not? Statement is executable part, right? Executable line in a program, right? So what exactly the conditional statements? Conditional statement means whatever the statement, it could be executed when the condition is true or it was depending on the condition, right? Depending on the condition, the statement can be executed. Statements can be executed or it cannot be executed. Totally, whatever the statements we have it, those particular statements execution, it purely depending on the condition. That's exactly the condition statements will do that. In any programming language, the condition statements, what we have it, the first one is simple if, and second one is if and else, third one is elif later, and the fourth one is nested if blocks, nested if statements. So these are the 4 R condition statements. I hope you understood. Is there any question, Reg and Rupali? Are you following my points?
Yes, I am.
Reg?
Yes. Can you explain type conversion in a simple code, Python code?
Sure. Let me open your software. So usually any data scientist, you could able to go for creating or you always using a software. The name of the software is Anaconda. Okay, let's go for open the Anaconda software. And once if you open the software, then only we can able to write some kind of statements on that particular software itself. Okay, so here Anaconda, which is a collected third-party applications or third-party IDs. So here Datalore, IBM Watson, Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, these are the softwares are collected in one area. So I would like to go for launch the web-based interactive Python mode, which is Jupyter Notebook. So if I launch this one, it can be open the local host with the 8888 port number. And here we can just go to your specific folder, and I would like to go for creating the Python file, and here you can able to write the your file name. So type conversions. Let's go for understanding the type conversions. Okay, so type conversion means, so we can convert one data type to another data type. Let we have a data is, it's a, for example, integer data type. So if you want to know that what exactly this particular data type, then we just use the type of a. So this is integer type. Now what I want to do that, I want to be convert this particular integer data type into the float data type. For that one, we have a function is a float function, we have it. So this is a float, it can read the, or it can require the input, it can be anything. I'm giving the integer and it can be converting into the float, and the same data I want to be holding into the same variable. After I convert it into the float, I would like to go for the print the data type of that particular same variable. So initially it's an integer type. The 123 is integer type that I was converting into float type with the help of the float function. Okay. So meanwhile we have int function is there. It can be convert any data type to the integer data type. So for example, I have some float number. This is the default. It's a float. I would like to converting into the integer. Then we can directly use the int function. Okay, so here you converted the float data type to integer data type. So here int is the function, and the meanwhile we have the data type in Python programming language, which is complex. For any data, if you want to be converting into the complex data type, then we can use the complex function. So when I'm using the complex function, it was converting from any data type to complex data type. Clear? Rich? Are you following my point?
Not actually. Initially, it was integer, and now initial line 5, we converted it into float type, right?
So it's an integer type. Okay, so that's what we are printing over here. So type is the function. So with help of the type function, you know what could be the data type of this particular variable. So this is the variable a is holding the integer type. This is the integer. With help of the fourth statement complex function, when I am giving this integer as the input for the complex function, then it is converting into the complex data type. So the complex data which is holding into the same variable, and with help of the type function we can know that what could be the data type of this particular variable a. So once if you are converting from integer to complex, then the type of the a is, it's a complex. Clear now?
Yeah.
So Rach, actually this is middle of the coding, right? So that's what you're a little confused. Okay. So there are 10 data types are there in Python programming language. Okay. Hello. Rijay, are you following my point? What I'm trying to tell you?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
So in Python, if you want to start from the beginning, I can start from the beginning. But thing is that I'm just sharing it. What could be options are there here? Okay. So meanwhile, here I was trying to explaining about the conditional statement. Simple if is another block. So here what is, it can be, so these are the blocks. Let me consider this is the statement was being executed, right? So I want to be stopped, I want to be stopped this execution. So same program I can use the if is the keyword. If is the simple if, I'm talking about simple if, the simple if what it may have it. So we have a keyword followed by the condition. Let me consider my condition is true. So if true, this is my condition. So here true is my condition. When the condition is true, then whatever the statements we return, that particular statement it can be executed. So you just execute this one, we got an output, right? Because of this line was comment which is not executed. But if is the simple if, the syntax is followed by the condition and colon symbol, whatever the block you want to write it, the entire block we can write with some space. So this is the block actually. This block can be executed, cannot be executed. So when could be it can be executed? So when you return the some number of statements in one particular block and with if keyword, and if this condition is true, then only this particular block can be executed. But when it could not be executed, when the condition is false, let me write, instead of writing the true, if I wrote the false, then what happened, we'll see, which is not printing anything because of these are the 4 lines not executed. This 4 lines execution is depending on the condition. Right, are you following my point? I am talking about simple if. Simple if we have a keyword, with help of the if keyword we can creating the some block of statements. So you can write some block of statements in one group as a group, and this particular group of statements was depending on the condition. So here the condition is true, so that we got this particular output. So here the condition is false, so that you're not getting any kind of output. Is it clear, Rupali?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so can you note this example?
Yeah, did it.
In place of true or false, we can use any condition. Let me write a small example. So I just took the a value, instead of taking inside of the block, I just write the a value is the 123. So I can write the condition, if a is more than the 100, then only I can able to print the data type. After, if it is the more than the 100, then only I would like to go for converting into the float. This is my question. My question is, I have a variable which we have some data. I have a variable which we have some data. Okay, the data, it could be 123. So if this value it is more than the 100, then I would like to go for printing the data type, and I want to be print the converting into the float, and I want to print the float function. I would like to print that particular data type. So here a value is the more than the 1 to 100, right? So that the statements was executed. So if my question is, if a value is the 13 is not more than the 100, right? So this condition is false. If this condition is false, the fourth, fifth and sixth statements was not executed. Okay, just note this example. Done.
Yep.
Okay, so we can write the if and else. So if and else, in the sense, maybe the condition is true, then the block of statements can be executed. If the condition is false, some other statements can be executed. So here I can write some statement here. A is less than 100. So if you are executing, else is executed, right? Because of if and only if If this condition is false, then else block can be executed. Okay. So for example, if my a value is 130, so it is more than the 100. So instead of writing this statement, I can able to write some print statement. It could be easy for. So print a is more than 100. So if you are executing, if block was executed, the reason is that your a is 130. 130 is more than 100, right? So that whatever the statements we have inside of the if, those statements can be executed. If this particular condition is false, if this particular condition is false, then else can be executed. Okay, just note this if and else. So here if and else are the keywords. Done.
Yes.
Meanwhile, we can write the elif later. So elif later in the sense we have a condition. We have a condition 1. If this condition 1 is true, then you can write the task inside of this particular block. If this condition 1 is true, then task 1 can execute it. If in case the condition 1 is false, then instead of writing the else, you can write the one more condition. So you can write the condition number 2, but it will go for the condition 2 if and only before condition was false. If my condition 1 is false, then only I would like to go for checking the second condition inside of the elif. So if the condition 2 is true, then the task 2 can be executed. The whatever the statements we have after this particular if and else, it won't be executed. Okay. If in case the condition 2 also fail, then it will be go for the condition number 3. So if the condition number 3 is true, then it will be go for the task number 3. Okay. So meanwhile, it will keep on going on until unless all conditions are failed. If all conditions are failed, then the else block can be executed. So this is the last else block can be default task. When all conditions are false, then the else block can be executed. So first, this one is highest priority. If this one is failed, it will be go for the checking the rest of the conditions. If this one is true, it won't go for checking these conditions. This is false, then it will be go for second priority for the second condition. If second condition is true, then only the task 2 can be executed. The rest of the things cannot be executed. So this is the syntax for the elif. That means in between the if and else, you can write the some number of blocks. From that one, it can be executed only one. Okay, just note this particular syntax.
Got that.
Hello.
Yeah, done.
Okay, so this is the syntax, right? So with help of this particular syntax, let's go for write a small program. Let's go for write a small program. So write a program. So write a program. The program is fix the salary. Fix the salary based on experience. Okay. So here I can take the experience from the user with help of the input function.
After
Okay.
enter, it's going to be a space.
Enter the experience. If in case, if experience is more than 20 years, maybe he is getting the 1 CR. So you just print the 1 CPA, 1 crore per annum. Okay. If in case his experience is not more than the 20, maybe his experience is more than 15, in between 15 to 20, then he might getting the salary was 75 lakhs per annum. Okay. So here we can write the lift if the experience is more than, he's not having the experience is more than 15. Okay, if experience is maybe more than 12 years, so his salary it may be 50 lakhs per annum. Okay, this is the way you can write the experience. You can take the experience as a condition. If 7 years, then 25 lakhs per annum. So just just for understanding, you can write this some kind of block of statements in one. Okay, if the experience is not more than 7, his experience is in between 0 to 7, maybe he is getting the salary is 12 lakhs per annum. Okay, so this is the way. If I enter the 5 years, 5 years is all conditions are failed, so that else is executed. If I run it, if I enter the 14, 14 means 24. I entered the 24, right? 24, this condition is true. If this condition is true, this is the statement was executed. The rest of the things, even it is the true, it is not trying for execution. Just note this example.
So even if the experience is more than like 30, then also it will be 1 CPA.
Just to understanding the how the LF ladder is
Okay.
working. That's my motto. Okay, not for this experience and salary. Okay, my main motto is that how this particular LF is taking the conditions and how is checking and what is the flow of it. Okay, that's my intention. Completed, right? Okay. Next we have nested blocks. Nested blocks means a block it may containing the another block. Okay. So that means the syntax and everything. The syntax and everything could be similar, right? So, for example, write a program, find the biggest number, find the biggest number. So when you're trying for the finding the biggest number, so we have the three from the three numbers. We have a number, and this particular number, enter A. So this is the way you are taking the three numbers A, B, C. A, B, C. From this particular three numbers, I want to find out the biggest number. First, I can check with A versus B. If B is more than, if if B is more than A, then I can compare with B versus C. Then I can compare with B versus C. If this condition is true, then B is big. Otherwise, A can be the big. C is big, and I can print the C value. If in case my internal condition is false, that means this is one block which is containing in another block. That's exactly nested if. The internal block is false, then else block can be executed. So here the B is big. So now I can print it. For example, my outer block is false. That means A versus B. If I do, then A will be the more than the B. Then I can compare with the A versus C. A versus C. So then I can able to go with A is, sorry, C is big. And I can print the C value. If in case my internal block is false, which means A could be the big. So that I can print the A is big, and meanwhile I can print the value of it. So 10, 45, and 34. So B is big, right? So which is printing it. So this is the way one block it may containing the another block. So that particular situations, nested blocks will help you. So the syntax, everything could be the same, but only thing is that the logic can be differed based upon the task. Do this particular example. Okay, Rupali, this is for today's class. We'll continue tomorrow for understanding the looping statements. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.